are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And a good morning to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, on 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B, coming on each and every night right after Lenny Green on WBLS with The Quiet Storm. We've got a great show, great things happening, great things planned for you today. And leading off the show will be the founder and president of Insight for New Housing, Mr. Gregory Bell, the man. He will be here to tell us all about the upcoming and third annual Community Disability Day. Following that, Reed I. Hadley, the CEO of Jarvis Reed Group, will talk to us about his program, Jazz Backstage, and how it helps the people that take a part. And then, the programming editor for Multi-Channel News, R. Thomas Umstead, will speak on his tenure at Multi-Channel News and the future goals of that organization. Our Open Summer Music Series will continue. Musical guest Bobby White is going to perform for you. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned because all this and more is headed your way. We are now open. And good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. Today is Monday, August 13th, 2012. We got a fantastic show. We begin today with a special look back at the 2012 London Olympics, where the best and the brightest young athletes from the nation, they took center stage and put their abilities on display. On July 27th, the ceremonies officially opened up. Looking back on it all, London Organizing Committee Chairman Sebastian Coe, he called the Games 2 glorious weeks that succeeded in inspiring a generation. When the torch was officially passed for the next Summer Games, the United States came out on top, winning a total of 104 medals, including 46 gold and 29 silver, and a number of bronze medals. And it just went on and on from there. And the U.S. team began their journey in the pool, pulling in an astounding 31 medals, winning 16 gold. Michael Phelps was the story of the men's side, capturing his record-breaking 22 career medals. For the women, 17-year-old Phenom Missy Franklin became a household name, winning 4 gold and a bronze for her country. And Allison Felix, she headlined in track and field, becoming the first U.S. woman to win 3 golds in the sport since 1988. Gymnastics was owned by the Fierce Five of Gabby Douglas, Michaela McElroy, and Kayla Ross, and Allison Reisman, and Jordan Weber, who along with the men took home 6 medals. What about that? On the beach, Misty May Trenor and Kerry Walsh Jennings, they continued their dominance, capturing their 3rd consecutive gold medal. And on the hardwood, whoa, everybody enjoyed that one too. The men and women took home the gold in basketball, providing our worldwide control over the sport. And congratulations to athletes of the United States of America on an overwhelming show of prowess and patriotism. Check out Open this Friday at 10 a.m. for a full recap of our man Bobby C. in sports. And that's all. That's what we have. The Olympics, tremendous. Can't wait for the next 4 years. And we go to Cool Clyde. Cool Clyde, what's your way in?
On the Olympics? Wow. I thought it was great. U.S. is always on top. Thought in terms of U.S. was first, China was second, and Great Britain came in third. So I'm assuming that the U.S. has generated a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. What are they going to do with that money? So I think in terms of, it was great. I would like to see something like that here in New York City, the Olympics to be held. What you think about that, Bob?
Well, it could happen. I mean, it was here. We had the World Fair Games over in the Shea Stadium area. You know, they can come back. Just have to put in a bid for it.
Yeah, so I think that's important. It brings a lot of attention to the U.S. and so forth to show how competitive our our players are, and I think that's important, though. You know. Hey, oh.
All right, thanks a lot, Cool Clyde.
Listen, man.
Cool Clyde on the way in. All right, we'll be right back with Gregory Bell. But first, take a look at the Inspirational Educational Institute at the Menson Academy. Check it out.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
How you doing? I just want regular, no sugar today.
You got it.
Thanks. Hello.
Hi.
Did you eat that whole thing today?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Hi, how you doing?
She's getting big, huh?
Good. Yeah, she is big. Let's great haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks cute. Come on, let's go. Nice to see you. Thanks a lot.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Thanks.
If only child abuse were this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. All calls are anonymous and confidential. Trust your instincts.
Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? That zit is huge. Zit face. Ugly.
Welcome back to Open, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and we've got you covered. Our first guest is the founder and president of Insight for New Housing, and on August 18th, they will host the 3rd Annual Community Disability Day. And here to tell us more is the president and CEO, Mr. Gregory Bell. We welcome you to the show again.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I appreciate being here, Bob.
You know, I heard some people, they wanted to clap. Go ahead, give him a big round of applause, Mr. Gregory Bell.
Thank you.
How's that for a wonderful introduction? You got the crowd applauding you in the background. You carry your own cheering section with you.
I'm amazed and I'm humbled by that. Yeah. You know, but on the 18th at Katona Avenue, Katona Park South, we will be trying to knock down the walls and build bridges to make our community one community.
Now you say knock down the walls. What do we mean?
There's an invisible wall that exists between the disability community and the normal community. Mm-hmm. And it shows up in terms of housing, it shows up in terms of NIMBY, it shows up especially in terms of employment,
Uh-huh.
because employment solves a lot of problems.
Right.
If you can get a job, if you can be trained, if you have a skill set that an employer wants to utilize, then you can, change your situation. Because even though they develop low-income housing, the amount of funds that you have to have in annually, it kind of supersedes your ability to get that housing, unless you have Section 8, which doesn't exist anymore.
Whoa. Now, explain to us what Insight for New Housing is.
Insight for New Housing is a real estate development disability advocacy organization. I started out with one plan, and it kind of morphed into something that's more or less out of my control. I sit on the New York State Rehabilitation Council as a member of the Workforce Development. I sit on the Borough President's Disability Advisory Council on the subcommittee there for resources. I'm on the Highbridge Corporation, and because I sit there, I'm on 18 other boards. So Highbridge has a voice in a lot of different platforms that can affect the lives of persons with disabilities, and we try to do that effectively, especially here at BronxNet, where we produce the only speaking community calendar in the tri-state area.
Beautiful. Now, you said you started out one way and it went somewhere else. It just kind of snowballed into something else. How did you start out? What was the insight then?
Insight was developed out of my own need. I was a homeless, disabled vet, and I had to sleep on trains and on rooftops, that story that everybody has from way back when, back in the day. And I determined, being a combat Vietnam vet, that wasn't going to happen to any other veteran. And I have a good friend, Michael Felton, who said, Greg, you're not going to be able to make it happen. But I'm blessed. And people will tell you, I always confess, I'm blessed and highly favored. I was able to become a member of the planning board, not the board itself, but a volunteer in the Housing and Land Use Committee after I learned how to develop my business plan through the South Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation, SOBRO, with the help of the Commission for the Blind through the Lighthouse International. And I effectively influenced Highbridge HCDC to develop 2 buildings. One I was an architectural counsel for, and those 2 buildings have a decontrolled rate or vacancy rate of less than 1%, because the need for housing for people with disabilities is so great. Veterans live in those housings. People with disabilities live in that housing. And I'm the consultant that supplies the services for those buildings.
And you said Section 8 is no longer in service?
There's no such thing as Section 8 anymore. It's not been funded. They have something for disabled American vets coming back from Iraq and Iran. It's called the VAST program, so that disabled American vets that have a mental incapacity are able to acquire housing. And they are having a hard time finding suitable housing for themselves. One, the socialization is traumatic to them. PTSD runs rampant in the veteran community, disabled veteran community.
PTSD?
Post-traumatic stress syndrome. And people can't recognize it. Some of the veterans don't even recognize that they have it, and it's something that needs to be addressed. So when we have our Community Disability Day, we have resources there that individuals can inquire. The outreach coordinator for the Veterans Hospital up at Kingsbridge called me up and said, Greg, can we have a table? Can we bring our mobile unit? So they'll be there to share with the community for individuals who have veterans in their family or individuals that are married to veterans and so forth. Be able to get the information that they require to be able to assist and direct people within the community.
And I understand everybody's joining in now. It's
man, we have the emergency preparedness from New York City joining in. We have Banana Kelly, CMC Development Corporation, Highbridge HCDC. We have the New York Lawyers for Public Interest, Bronx Legal Services, the American Cancer Society, Alzheimer's Association, Bronx Lebanon Hospital. BronxNet is taping the whole thing. I mean, it's a wonderful thing to watch a baby grow up. And from the 175 people that first came to enjoy Community Disability Day at Behagan Park to the over 750 people that came last year, we're expecting an even larger crowd this year. And we're hoping to expand it. Who knows? Next year we might have better sponsors, because the New York Yankees, who have walked beside us as we've been planning these events, along with the 161st Street Merchants Association and, of course, Highbridge HCDC, they have been beside us as we've been nurturing this baby along, and it's starting to get legs, and it's starting to be paid attention to.
Well, if you're working it and you're behind it, it's going to go far. You know, I want to stop right here and thank you for your service. You're a Vietnam vet. You've done a lot of great things in our country and for our country, and you continue to do so. Now, you weren't always blind. When did you first realize that your sight started going bad?
Well, I used to work for the Human Resources Administration, Department of Social Service. And the overburdened work that was there began to be difficult for me to see. And on a comical note, me and the guys would go out at lunchtime and look at the girls.
Oh,
and I couldn't see them anymore. And
Whoa.
that began to be a problem for me.
Yeah.
So I went to my doctor, and he said, you have severe open-angle glaucoma. You'll be totally blind in about 5 years. And at that time, my little boy was about 3 years old. Well, I couldn't see him anymore when he was about 30.
Wow.
So people say, well, your transition from sight to having no sight has been miraculous. You haven't stuttered, you just keep on moving. Well, if it wasn't for the Lord on my side, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You go from one blessing to the next blessing, and if you pay attention to your own life, to your own needs, and understand that you're blessed to be a blessing. You're not. It's a present in terms of the spiritual world is not for you to keep. Like if I give you a gift or a present is a gift that you give to somebody else.
Say that again.
In the spiritual realm, a present is not a gift that you give to somebody that they keep. It's something that you give away. And I've been blessed.
Can you rewind and say that again?
It's been something that's been given to me to say to other people. And there have been others that have tried to replicate what it is that I do, and they've been unsuccessful, and they let me know about their failure. And I let them know, when you see me doing something, it's not because I'm doing it in my own strength. It's not me. It's being done for a completely different reason.
Absolutely.
I don't get paid. I've never been funded, but I've been extremely successful as far as I'm concerned. I give those who don't have a voice in arenas where they are not really known. Because people don't deliberately ignore people with disabilities.
Yeah.
They don't know how to help them. So
and
somebody
you're
needs to
rich
share.
without the cash.
Yes.
You're rich without the cash.
Absolutely.
You're wealthy.
Isn't that what Malcolm said? You have somebody with a dream, you give them the dream and no money, or you give them the money and no dream. And when you're in the church, you get both.
Yeah.
And you're able to perform feats that you had no idea that you could do.
That's right.
But like I said, Community Disability Day has a lot of components, a lot of people, and I've been blessed to watch a leisure program that is a day program for individuals that are severely to mildly developmentally disabled. Come with 2 buses of individuals, roughly 70 consumers, and watch them dance, laugh, enjoy themselves.
See, now you use the words watch. I think you can see.
Well, see.
You can see.
You know your spiritual eye is always open.
There you go.
Always
I love
open.
it.
And I've tried to reach individuals like your friend and mine, Mr. Steve Harvey, with his ranch for underprivileged children, and remind him that there are some underprivileged children that can't see.
Let them know. Let them know.
I've written to his manager a couple of times and haven't gotten a response. But eventually,
what do you want him to do? Let him know right now.
I want him to share his wealth and his riches with the community, the total community, inclusive of persons with disabilities. I mean, you have an educational foundation that does not exclude those individuals that happen to be developmentally disabled. To the best of their ability, they can grow to be able to take advantage of whatever educational experience are available. I had the pleasure of sitting with Mr. Stevie Wonder for 5 hours.
Yes, you have.
One-on-one. And I asked him if he had his druthers, what would be an initiative that he would put out there for the disability community?
Yeah.
He said better educational experience.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
And that opens up a door for a lot of people. A friend of mine, who is the sister to Vi Higginson, who you know, said, Greg, if they knew better, they'd do better.
Yeah.
So my mission is to share with individuals those things that they might think they know and explain to them what it is that we need done for us. Because if you ask us, what do you need? Then that starts the conversation. Don't presume we need your help.
I heard you guys you and Stevie Wonder went to the Apple store and had a good time.
He bought me my iPhone 4, and it's caused me problems ever since. Because everybody thinks the iPhone is a phone, and it's not a phone. It's a handheld computer.
Right.
And it just has over 500,000 applications.
There
it
you
overwhelms me.
Before we go, say hello to your son. Your son is with you today.
That little boy is my son, but he's actually my great-grandson, who's sitting over there on the side. Rara?
Rara!
Danakaki. Avanza.
Oh, he speaks Spanish too, all right. Where can we find out more information about what's going on?
You can go to my website, www.insightfornewhousing.org, or you can call me at 347-590-1080. Ramel, you here?
Ramel, come over this way.
Come here, please.
Come over this way.
This little boy right here is the love of my life. He's my great-grandson. His name is Ramel Isaiah Gregory Smalls. His mother is Jacqueline Smalls, and he's a wonder. Say hello, Ra-Ra.
Hi. Wave to everybody and tell them how much you love them.
He'll be there at Community Disability Day. He's at all of my events.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll have him grown up enough that he can take over when I'm gone.
We're going to take a quick break, but give us that information one more time with the date and time.
Oh, August the 18th at Katona Avenue, Katona Park South, from 12 to 5.
There you go, the 3rd Annual Community Disability Day with the President and CEO, Greg Bell. It's going to be at Katona Park. Make sure you get there, all right? We got to take a quick break, but when we come back, Reed I. Hadley from Jazz Backstage is here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, man.
I didn't get to mention.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Low-fat cheese sandwiches on whole wheat bread. Chewy and good for you. Snacks high in calcium help build strong bones. And foods rich in fiber are good for your heart. So you have the power to dominate. Can your food do that? Run, throw, think, eat better. Find out more at smallstep.gov.
Hi, I'm Sean Johnson of the 2008 U.S. Gymnastics team. I'm here with our friends from VeggieTales to say, be a player, get up and play an hour a day.
Besides gymnastics, how do you stay in great shape, Sean?
I love to dance and rollerblade.
Cool.
You don't have to be an Olympian to be a player. Just do the things you already love to do, like jump rope, ride a bike, or even play freeze tag.
Now that's something to flip for.
Well done! For fun ways to get healthy, visit www.smallstep.gov.
These things we count on every day started as ideas. Ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
And welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'm your host, and we had just had Greg Bell on a little while ago, Community Disability Day. That's on the 18th of August, 12 noon to 5 p.m. And he forgot to mention that Melissa Morgan, Ted Wizard Mills is going to be there from Blue Magic and many other guests. That's Katona Avenue, Katona Park South. Make sure you're there August 18th at 12 noon, all right? We'll see you there. Our next guest is the CEO of the Jairus Reed Group, and here to tell us about his fascinating program, Jazz Backstage, is Reed I. Hadley. Welcome you to the show, my brother.
Doc, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah,
thanks
I heard
for
so much
inviting
about
me.
you, man.
Well, hopefully it's all been good.
It's all been good. I didn't hear anything bad.
Well, that's pretty much what it's about. We want to be bad in a good way.
There you go. Do you play any instrument or anything?
I used to play the French horn, ironically, in high school, and then I went on to a drum and bugle corps in St. Louis, which was where I'm from originally.
Because you have a musical background.
I do.
Yeah. And then you have this organization, Jazz Backstage. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Jazz Backstage basically is a segment of a broader series which is called Backstage. And in that we cover jazz, gospel, R&B, and rap. And primarily we started off with jazz at the first point because, of course, We have the founders, the architects of jazz who are in their 70s, 80s, 90s now.
Traditional jazz.
Traditional, and as well, we have to find out where your roots were and why you are who you are today, if you're in the music world.
So they always say, know where you've been,
in order to know where you're going.
And know where you're going.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, when without jazz, basically, rap would be here, just in a different form, I believe. And he's co-signed it already.
There you go.
Who was sampled back in the 70s? Grover Washington, Herbie Hancock.
Yeah.
By the masters, Grandmaster Flash, Kool Moe Dee, the founders of rap. And it evolved into what it has become today. So you take the gospel, you take the R&B. It's a really amazing to travel the world, to do this, and then to be actually seeing yourself in Japan or Germany or any other of the European countries who are emulating us all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Just as they did with
especially
jazz.
In Japan.
Exactly.
Japan, they have, you can see New York, they have an Apollo Theater out there. You know, everything that you see in New York and in the U.S., they have out there.
Exactly. Yeah. So the reason why I started this project and started off with jazz is because after being locked up in the basement with 7, 8 different other kids on Friday night, and the men are watching Gillette Friday night fights and women are in playing cards, what did I hear? Music. Ella, Sarah, Dinah, Baby Ray, and everybody else. So it was in me from 8 years old to now. So basically what I want to do is I want to impart this on to children. And being in communications, which is my background, I need to be able to make sure that this next generation combines the fact that there is music around, but there is another way that you can be involved if you don't sing. You go backstage. In other words, to do what your crew is doing now as college students and as grads. If you're 8, 9, or approaching high school, you don't know what you want to do, you want to sing. If you don't have the chops, you can do something else. You can operate the camera. So in us producing our documentaries that we've done, I've interviewed Nancy Wilson when I had the radio series, Europe's Jazz Profile, which in London we aired. I became involved with founders like John Levy.
What is this right here?
This basically, that's a young man that we had at the Lenox Lounge, and he interviewed Alvin Reed, who's the owner. Basically, there was a situation going on, and I had talked to Mr. Reed about the history. I interviewed Mr. Reed in depth in regard to the situation that he's in, and somewhere along the line, that is actually going to be airing on our website in terms of Mr. Reed's interview. It's a minute long, but
what
it's key.
What website is that?
Our website is www.jairusreedgroup.org.
Now, what do you hope to accomplish with this program?
What we're looking to do is we have basically gotten gifts and self-funded this project up to this point to produce the programming that we've done. We are looking for corporate sponsors to come in, banks, because now that we have a viable project to do these workshops in New York City, we've tied in with some major groups, Jazz Mobile here in New York, 100 Black Men out in Los Angeles. So my broader picture is an East-West connection, and then bring in St. Louis and Kansas City, which one of our board of directors, Gregory Carroll, is the CEO of the American Jazz Museum, and I've got a great board put together who believe in this.
A broader picture. Now, Jazz Backstage incorporates what, workshops for kids? Tell me about some of the programs.
What we do is we take, Doc, we take the documentaries that we do on an ongoing basis. And what we do is we produce these documentaries in order to put into the school systems eventually. So in us producing these documentaries as a process, we bring in a workshop situation with high schoolers in an after-school program. We also reach out to those individuals who may be near getting kicked out of high school, and we want to show them there is another alternative that you may not know about, but this is an alternative.
So you're using music and production to educate our youth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what this entire project is about.
Beautiful, beautiful. How important is that?
It's important enough to say that I don't want to see another generation be totally unaware as to where they have to go. After school programs or basically latchkey programs and athletics. Where is there anything that is going to teach you a possibility of, after I graduate from high school, what am I going to do? What kind of career am I going to go for?
So you help them line people up to work for the rest of their lives, to find something that they really like and are passionate about.
And actually, as far as my passion is concerned, I would like to see more entrepreneurs come out of these type of workshops. If you don't have an idea right now that you can become a radio disc jockey, or a television host, or a camera operator, or a still photographer, where are you going to get that knowledge? In a workshop such as this. And that's the reason why we're reaching out to corporations, so that equipment can be purchased, as well as on top of what we already have. We have a production staff in the United States, from Washington to LA and New York. But we also have reached out into those other areas that we've shot in Japan.
So are you saying that you can get people involved in production and music and everything, but then maybe they should own a part of that?
Exactly.
And learn the business and start a business?
Exactly. They may be enthused enough about it to where they run their own show. We want these kids to come out of our program and produce their own documentary on whomever they want to. At least have that knowledge.
What's next for the organization? Where can people get more information on this?
You, as I mentioned earlier, you can go on the website to join our emailing list, which we'll be doing blast, which is, the website is www.jairusreedgroup.org. And either of our staff will be able to get in contact with you, follow up, and as far as your interest level is concerned, we can take it from there to get involved in one of the workshops. That
Jairus Reed Hadley dropping the science right here on BronxNet's Channel 67. That's how you do it. All right, backstage, Jazz Backstage, Reed I. Hadley. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You'll come back and share more. Right?
And hopefully I'll be able to bring one of my friends with me.
All right, that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Take care.
All right, we got to take another break, but stick around. R. Thomas Umstead, he's going to join us. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately, because time lost is brain lost.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Hi, I'm Sonia Richards of the 2008 U.S. Track and Field Team. I'm here with our friends from Jane and the Dragon to say,
the amount counts, so keep portions under control.
When you're on the go, there's nothing better than a healthy snack to give you a boost. But remember, portions count too.
I love fast food, fruit that is. It's the perfect size and great to eat on the fly.
You've got the idea. For fun ways to get healthy, visit www.smallstep.go.
Every year, mothers lose their babies to gun crimes. You'll always be your mother's baby. So before you commit a gun crime, think about who you'll leave behind. Gun crimes hit home.
And welcome back to Open, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your #1 source for R&B. Our next guest has worked on multi-channel news for almost 25 years. And there, he's the programming editor, and he's going to share with us the process of producing news reports, as well as his time at MCN. So please, welcome R. Thomas Umstead to the show. I did it nice and slow to get everything in there just the right way with that tempo and everything. Now, tell us about this wonderful multi-channel news organization.
Well, Multi-Channel News is a cable trade newspaper. We've been in business for 32 years, and basically we cover the cable television industry from all aspects, whether it's from programming, marketing, telecommunications, technology, and we're the only, basically, only company right now in the industry looking at cable, which is now a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's been a great great run. I've been very blessed to be able to watch the cable industry grow as I have in the industry.
Yeah, yeah. You remember when HBO and all that stuff started coming out, and people started making these little boxes to tweak it to try to get it, and they kept unscrambling and they kept going back and forth. There was a time when I think they didn't have commercials.
Well, HBO still doesn't have commercials, thank goodness, but there was a time when no one would actually advertise on cable because they didn't think it would be a big business. Yeah. And I remember when MTV and BET still showed music videos. Right. But the industry has changed so much now, and you're seeing so many new programs out there to the point where cable is really now the driver for most of the unique and interesting programming that's on television today.
But back in the day, we paid for it. So, and that was a thing that I think that was one of the things that distinguished it between regular TV and cable. Oh, you got to get cable. There's no commercials. You can watch straight out movies and all that stuff. But then something happened when they started taking on advertising. So we're paying them, and in the advertising, they're getting paid from both ways.
And then that's the beauty. That's the beauty, and also the curse of the cable industry. If you talk to some people, but it's been a great business. And again, we wouldn't see the content that we're seeing now. We wouldn't see all the sports programming. We wouldn't see all the movies that we're seeing now if it weren't for that dual revenue stream that both the advertisers and the operators affiliates offer.
What is the goal of your organization?
Our goal is to make sure that everyone knows what the cable business, what's happening in the cable business, and to basically show folks exactly what's happening on the cable side, both from the programming side as well as the business side.
It's an industry exclusive magazine.
Exactly. We don't cover the broadcast networks. We don't cover the radio business. We cover strictly cable television.
There you go. Yeah. Did you cover what's happening in cable, like the Olympics?
We covered, and in fact, we covered the ability of the networks to cover. There were 5 networks actually covering cable networks covering the Olympics, as well as all of the online information that was out there. I mean, it was huge for the cable business. And again, because cable has 400 to 500 channels, back in 1992, when the cable industry first started getting into the business, it was a pay-per-view channel. We only had 3 channels. Now, again, we had 5 channels. Every event was covered in some way, shape, or form on cable.
Yeah, and you do cover topics.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, we cover everything. I mean, there's so many things going on in the industry, especially with competition coming on. You have Hulu out there, you have Netflix vying for the cable viewer's eyes. So there's a number of topics that are going on in the industry that need to be covered, and that's what we cover on our site.
And what's the most rewarding part of your job? What do you get out of it?
The most rewarding part of it is you never know what you're going to cover from day to day. The industry is evolving and changing so much, and when I get into the office, you never know what kind of coverage I'm going to be able to cover, whether it's a big show coming on HBO or whether or not Netflix launches a new show or new series. It's so rewarding to be able to come into a job where you don't know what's going to happen from day to day.
Yeah. Are there jobs available there?
There are jobs, this is a tough economy across the board, but certainly the cable industry and entertainment industry has always had the opportunities to hire folks and to get people in the industry. So there are jobs. On the journalism side, it's tough because, again, the newspaper business, as you've seen in the magazine business, has fallen off over years. Yeah. We've been fortunate to be able to stay within the cable industry where we're able to really talk to the folks that we need to talk to, and they've reciprocated by advertising in the magazine. So we've been good.
Yeah, Helen graduated. She's looking.
Make sure we get our resume. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. You never know what's going to happen in the business.
There you go. What's next for Multi-Channel News?
We're doing a number of different things. It's not only print, but we're also online. We're doing videos. We're also doing webinars. And in fact, I have a webinar in a couple of weeks talking about the growth of multicultural networks in the industry. Also, we're talking about a number of different events that we do around across the cable spectrum.
You heard that, Helen? They do videos. Get your video camera. Yeah, was it DVX 100 or whatever?
We're not that advanced yet. We're getting there, but we're not that advanced. We're getting there. We're not going to win any Oscars on our videos, but we're getting there.
Yeah, this is great. You're doing some wonderful things.
Thank
too.
you.
And so people can check you out. They can check out your content.
Check it out. We have our magazine comes out once a week. Unfortunately, it's not really sold on the newsstands, but you can check out everything that we're doing on multichannel.com.
Multichannel.com.
Yep. So it's a great business.
Great.
Can't complain.
And what should we, when we check in, what's the first thing that will interest us?
Well, basically, what we're going to have, you have your top stories that are going on. Again, you have a video section where we get a chance to talk to a number of videos, and that's great. And as I said, I just posted a video today about the interviews both with Kelsey Grammer and with T.I., who are now starring on Star's new show, Boss.
Yeah.
So we get a chance to talk to the industry as well as some of the stars that are in these shows.
And you get firsthand as to what's happening. What's getting ready to drop.
That's the good thing about being a trade publication. We're the first ones that they come to make sure that we get the information out to the industry. You know, everybody's covering the business, but they look to us to sort of get the message across that this is happening in the cable industry and this is what's going to go on.
So you have the scoop. You got
every
the
once in a while.
scoop.
We get the scoop every once in a while, and it's as I said, it's an opportunity for us to really talk about what's happening in the industry.
Do you also get the opportunity to interview some of the players who are moving about or getting ready to sign deals or who have signed deals?
I would say that we're if there's a big deal coming up, we are certainly the first or second network or company that they come to get that message across. You know, if Discovery is launching a new channel, if BET is launching a new show, they'll come to us to make sure that we get the information and then we can get that out to the industry from there on.
Yeah, look at that.
So
inside scoop. What made you want to get involved in this? Because your background is in communications.
It's communications. I've always wanted to be in journalism, and actually I kid myself that I talk about the fact that I always wanted to meet Michael Jackson. So I always wanted to get into the Billboard and get into the press and figure I'd get around this way. But I found a way that Multi-Channel News allowed me to sort of grow within the industry and talk about the things from a different perspective, not necessarily from the numbers in terms of how many records are sold or how many ratings, but you get to talk about the different things that are going on. And in fact, I was able to meet Michael Jackson through that.
Oh, beautiful!
So it has worked out for me across the board.
Turned out to be a really, really nice guy, and not what people thought he was.
No, exactly. And he talked to us, and he understood what we were doing, and that was the best thing about it.
Yeah. I met him also. He turned out to be a lot of makeup and stuff. You know, whole family, all the Jacksons, they wear a lot of makeup.
Well, Marlon had a cable network, and that was one of the reasons why he was involved. So it's amazing how things go around, and people are starting to look at cable as a way of getting their message across.
Yeah. Now, did he get the raw end of the deal? Did the media really drag him through it?
Unfortunately, anytime you're in the public's eye, you're going to get your positive and your negative views of coverage. And he got a lot of raw deals. So this is the video that I put up together. But it's amazing how he was able to get through all that. And unfortunately, in his passing, he is much more popular now than he even was back then.
Oh, he's the highest paid entertainer.
Exactly.
I mean, not here.
Exactly.
And for the people who are making money that are still here.
Exactly.
And you would have handled it differently.
I certainly would have looked at his business prospects and what he was doing in front of the camera and what he was doing across the board. You can't ignore all the other things that were happening, but certainly you would take a look at some of the positives as well.
There you go. All right. You hit us with some serious stuff right here, and we can get that information on what's that?
Again, www.multichannel.com.
Multichannel.com.
Anything you want to know about the cable industry, it's right there.
It's right there.
Exactly.
And you're just a phone call away.
Exactly. anything breaking, let me know.
What's your cell phone number? No.
Shoot your number.
Give him a big round of applause, everybody. Mr. Reed in the house. Thomas Umstead, programming editor, Multi-Channel News.
Thank you very much.
For joining
Thank
us
you for having
today.
me.
All right, we got to take a quick break, Thomas. But when we come back, well, our open music summer series will continue with gospel singer Bobby White. So stick around. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be on the money, off the hook. Coming up next on Channel 67's Open.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
I got them shaking they booties like Congos, man. I'm shaking the city like quake. Yeah. Haters blue in the face like
You're really
Congos.
You're not attractive.
Too fat.
You're too short.
Too old? Why don't you just give up?
Give up. Give up.
Just give up.
Hey, Shannon.
We're all born free and equal.
Don't discriminate.
These are your human rights. There are 30 of them. They belong to you. You don't have to buy them, or apply for them, or ask permission to have them. They're just yours. No matter who you are, where you're from, how old you are, or anything else. It's just that simple. Now, some people may try to ignore your rights, or violate them, or pretend they don't exist. But they can't change the fact that they're yours. Human right number 30. No one can take away your human rights. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
Yo, we doing this, yeah?
And welcome back to Open, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and the beat goes on and on and on as we continue our Open Summer Music Series. Our next guest is a gospel singer who will perform at the 3rd Annual Community Disability Day on August 18th. Please welcome to the open stage, Bobby Blanco, Bobby White.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. I'd just like to say before I sing this song, I wrote this song in honor of my mother. Also, to the man upstairs, the Lord up above, for bringing me through the trials and tribulations of my life, and for everybody who has gone through trials and tribulations. I just so thankful to be here today, so honored to be on this program. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Greg Bell for always being by my side. I want to say thank you to Dr. Bob Lee. And this is the question: where would I be if it wasn't for your grace and tender mercies? Where would I be if it wasn't for your love that carried me through the storm? I once was lost. If it wasn't for your grace, where would I be? Where would I be? Where would I be if you hadn't wrapped your loving arms around me, kept me warm when it was cold? Where would I be if you hadn't sent your son who died for me? I was lost, but now I'm found. If it wasn't for your grace, where would I be? Where would I be? It was your grace, your grace, your grace, wonderful grace. If it wasn't for your love, if it wasn't for your mercy, if it wasn't for your grace, where would I be? You brought me out of the miry clay, planted my feet on this rock to stay. Where would I be without you in my life? Whoa, where would I be? Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Now, I understand you're a Harlemite?
Yes, I am.
Uptown, uptown, downtown, from here. Bobby Blanco, fantastic job. Give him another big round of applause, everybody. We love the way you sing.
Thank
love
you.
the way you present yourself and everything. Now, you've been performing for some time.
Yes.
Some of the places that you performed?
Well, the Humbler Ballroom, Johnson Community Center, State Office Building.
Yeah.
I also opened for Jennifer Huston in Wilmington, Delaware.
And who's this gentleman right there?
Oh, that's my guardian, man. That's Gregory Bell.
Greg Bell in the building now. I understand that you're going to be performing for him on the 18th?
Sure, I'm going to be performing at the Disability Day on the 18th.
Oh, good. Well, we're looking forward for you coming out. You're going to be there along with Melissa Morgan, Ted Wizard Mills from Blue Magic. You know, they throw their feet out and slide back like that. What's the song that he used to sing? You must have put a spell on my mind.
No, that's Blue Magic. That's Blue Magic.
Yeah, Ted Mills was the lead singer there.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have. They got that high, but they go up there. I can't
do
get
a version of that song
You
too.
did?
Oh,
let
yeah.
me hear you say. You must have put a spell on my mind.
Yeah, you must have put a
Spell on my mind. All right, there you go. Greg, how does that sound?
Hey, he's fantastic.
There you go. Well, we could talk about that. I want to talk about how you got started in this business.
Well, I got started, many years ago. My mother used to be the ultimate alto. She used to harmonize to anything in the house.
Oh, all right.
And, she's doing the cooking, listening to the radio. She's harmonizing with everything on the TV. She's harmonizing, and I just picked it up.
And you started harmonizing all over the place. There you go.
Yes.
What's next for you?
What's next is the Disability Day.
All right,
That's
there you
the Disability Day on the 18th.
You have a CD out too?
Yes, I have a CD. It's in tune. I also sing with the group In Tune.
Oh, okay.
As well, and we do a lot of performing.
How can we get your CD and get more information on what you're going to do now for Insight?
I can give it to you. I have one. I have one with me. It's in my case. And also have a website, bboentertainment@gmail.com.
There you go. All right.
And I do have a CD.
And on the 18th?
On the 18th at Disability Day, we will be performing.
There you go, along with some greats, Ted Mills, Melissa
Yes,
Morgan,
yes.
and lots of others. All right, give him another big round of applause, everybody. Mr. Blanco, Bobby White, Bobby Blanco. All right. Our next show, thanks for hanging out. Our next show is going to be Wednesday with Darren Jaime. Thanks to all of our guests, and especially you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. Make sure you tune in to an all-new Open this Wednesday with Darren Jaime. I mentioned him. And always remember this. What you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. To choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. I'll catch you on right after The Quiet Storm with Lenny Green tonight on 107.5 WBLS. DJ Kool Clyde, take us home.